Most people wake up and the very first thing they do is check their phone. Within 90 seconds, they're thinking about their bills, their boss, their problems, and they have no idea that they just programmed their entire financial reality for the day. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent 30 some years researching exactly what happens to your brain in the first moments after you wake up. And what he found explains why most people are stuck in the same financial loop year after year, despite doing everything right. Today, we're going to break down his morning protocol, and more specifically, we're going to apply it directly to your money manifestation. Because there's a window, a very specific window every morning, and if you miss it, you've already decided what your financial reality is going to look like. So let's not miss it. Here's what's happening in your brain the moment you wake up. For the first 15 to 20 minutes, your brain is still in that theta brainwave state. Dispenza describes theta as a gateway state. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he explains it as the same state you're in during a deep hypnosis, where the subconscious mind is wide open. There's no firewalls. It's not defending. It's not filtering. It's not running security checks that it normally runs 24 hours a day. This is where your subconscious mind has its financial blueprint. The one that was written before you were 7 years old, the one that decides below your level of conscious awareness what income feels safe, what wealth feels dangerous, what you deserve, and what you don't. In this theta state, you have direct right access to your blueprint. This is where you rewrite it. And most people spend this time frame scrolling on the internet, checking the news, rehearsing anxiety, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Now, what does Joe Dispenza and what does he say have to do with this window? Well, his core teaching is this. Before your body's memory wakes up, you need to become a new person. His phrase is break the habit of being yourself. Because the self that wakes up every morning is a collection of memorized emotions, automatic thoughts, and conditioned behaviors. That self then recreates the same day, the same income, and the same results. He has a morning meditation practice that's designed to interrupt that, to create a new state of being, new thoughts, new feelings, new body language, before the old personality boots up and comes online. Specifically, he focuses on heart coherence, which I talk a lot about on this channel. The Heart Math Institute has shown that when your heart and brain are in coherence, when they're generating the same signal, your body produces a measurable electromagnetic field that extends outside of your body. And that field interacts with the quantum field around you. That is not a metaphor, that is physics. And the emotion that creates heart coherence fastest? Gratitude. Elevated emotion in general, joy, love, abundance, but gratitude specifically gets you there the fastest. Here's something that I've noticed working with clients, working with myself and clients who have done Dispenza's protocol seriously. A lot of them see results in health, in relationships, in energy, clarity, but the financial situation moves the slowest, or maybe not even at all. And there's a very specific neurological reason for that. Money has a different relationship with the subconscious than health or relationships. Most people carry a higher density of shame, fear, and identity conflicts around money than we do in other areas of life. And that emotional density creates what I refer to as like a thicker wall. The subconscious will resist overriding a money identity actually harder than it resists overriding a health identity. So Dispenza's protocol works, but without a money-specific application, without addressing the financial set point specifically, most people doing his practice are getting general elevation, which isn't bad, but without targeted financial reprogramming. And that's what this video is about. Most people have a financial set point. It's the income level that feels emotionally normal to their nervous system. If they earn significantly less than that number, they hustle to get back up to that roof. If they earn significantly more than that number, and this is the part that nobody talks about, our nervous system can actually experience that as a threat, not as a reward, but as a threat because it's uncomfortable. And it will self-sabotage to return you back to that set point. So the goal of the morning protocol isn't just to feel abundant. The goal is to raise that set point, to make a higher income level feel like home, to feel normal, to feel safe to your nervous system. And you do that by rehearsing it in this morning theta window that we're talking about before your old identity reasserts itself. Okay, pause for just a second. If the set point thing is landing for you, if you're sitting here thinking, I have no idea where mine is set, that's actually the most important thing that you need to figure out before you do any of this work. I have a free audit that walks you through it in about 10 minutes. It's called the Reality Gap Audit. It tells you specifically which pattern is running your financial wiring right now. It's not generic, it's yours. The link is in the description, so grab it after this video. So let's get right back to the steps. Here is the actual morning protocol built on Dispenza's framework, and we're refining it for financial programming specifically. There are 5 steps, and we're going to do this before we touch our phone, before we speak to anyone, before you look at your bank account. Step number 1, there's a 90-second body scan. Dispenza calls this observing yourself. The moment you wake up, before you open your eyes, spend 90 seconds just noticing your body. Where is the tension? Where are you holding your breath? This is important. It tells you what emotional state your body defaulted to overnight. Most people are already in low-grade anxiety before they've even had a conscious thought. So we want to recognize this. Step number 2 is conscious breathing. It's 4 counts in, hold for 4, 4 counts out. And you do this for 2 minutes. Joe Dispenza's research shows that this shifts your nervous system from the sympathetic flight or flight to the parasympathetic, which is rest and receive, because you can't reprogram from a defense nervous system. It has to be in receive mode first. The third step is the elevated emotional rehearsal. This is the core, really, of his process. It's what Dispenza calls becoming your future self in the present moment. This is where you close your eyes and you spend 5 to 7 minutes feeling the emotions of your desired financial reality as if it's already happening. Not visualizing it happening in the future, but feeling as if it's already true now. Feel the relief, feel the ease, the normalcy of having what you want. The version of you who doesn't worry about money isn't excited about it even. They're just normal, and that's the feeling that we want to install. I think this is a really important point too. Sometimes when we do visualizations to create the future, as we're experiencing it, I've noticed people describe their vision as joyous disbelief, finally it's here. No, we are actually going for the normal feeling that, of course, I have $1 million, obviously. It's a little bit more of a settled feeling, and I want you to especially take note of that. Step number 4 is the identity declaration. And this is where I've modified Dispenza's framework specifically for money, because an affirmation says, I am abundant. Your subconscious flags that as false. An identity declaration says, it is normal for me to earn XYZ number of money. My nervous system expects this. My brain recognizes this as my baseline. Say it in the present tense. It's a fact, not a wish. This is what Dispenza means when he says you have to think greater than your environment. You're not fighting your current reality. You're declaring a new one, okay? Step number 5, the first decision. Before you open your phone, one decision from the identity that you just rehearsed. It doesn't have to be a big decision. It could be something as simple as sending an email that you've been putting off, following up on an opportunity. The point is that your first conscious decision of the day comes from the place of the new identity, not the old one. Dispenza calls this closing the gap between this inner rehearsal and your outer behavior. We're beginning to train the brain that this identity is real, that this means something, and that this is who we are. Let's do a quick recap. You have a 15 to 20-minute window every single morning where your subconscious mind is programmable. It's what Dispenza calls the theta gateway. Most people waste it on their phone. The 5 steps are body scan, conscious breathing, elevated emotion rehearsal, identity declaration, and the first conscious decision from the new identity. If you do this for 30 days, your nervous system will start to recognize financial abundance as the new normal. So one last thing before you go. If you're going to try this protocol, and I really hope you do, start with the audit first, because the identity declaration step 4 only works if you know what identity you're actually replacing. The reality gap audit shows you that for free. It's 10 minutes, the link's below. And then seriously, drop a comment with what time you normally reach for your phone. I read all the comments. I'm genuinely curious where you guys are all starting from. Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave the comments. The next protocol is coming next in the next video. Talk to you soon.